Welcome back to the show. Well, it's all about DUI right now. Have you gotten one? Has a friend or loved one had a DUI? Well, the attorneys from Palmer, Meadows, and Howell are back with us to answer the tough questions that many people have thought about, and viewers submitted these 5 questions to you, and now we're bringing them to you for the answers, right? Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us. Yep.
Hey, we've got Brad, we've got Taylor. Brad, let's start with you. The first question a viewer asked, I've heard that a DUI is a felony crime. Is that true? That comes in from Jennifer in Helena.
It could be, but typically for your first offense, a DUI, it's classified as a misdemeanor. Now, for your first, second, and third offense, it is still a misdemeanor. It's not until the 4th offense that it actually becomes a Class C felony. And the way that they calculate your offenses is if you get a first offense and then your second offense comes within the previous or the upcoming 5 years, that counts as your second offense. If it's past that 5-year period, then it's not a second offense. Now, unlike other alcohol-related offenses, a DUI can develop into a Class C felony on the 4th offense. But for crimes such as open container or public intoxication, those are merely violations or misdemeanors.
Misdemeanors. Okay. Well, Jennifer and Helena, thank you on behalf of her for that question. The second question, I'm going to ask this to Taylor. This comes from Brian. Can I receive an open container violation from a city officer if I was stopped outside the city limits?
Well, technically you can, but it depends on the jurisdiction of the municipality and the population. Generally, if a town is over 6,000, they can go 3 miles outside of their jurisdiction. So if the town is less than 6,000, they can only go 1.5 miles over their jurisdiction. So basically, it depends on the population, and the same thing works with interstates. If a town is over 19,000 people, they can patrol the interstates for speeding. But if if they're less than 19,000, then they can't patrol the interstates. So
interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. Interesting information. Now, Jason in Hoover writes, is there any way to determine what my fine will be before going to court for my DUI? So obviously Jason has first-hand experience in Hoover for this. Brad, how would you answer?
Hoover is an area that's notorious for DUIs, but in regards to the fine, it's not one of those things that you can really determine. You can look at the statute, and for example, for a first offense, the fine can range between $600 and $2,100. Now, the fine that they ultimately establish by the court is going to be up to the judge or to the prosecutor. But oftentimes, if you're a first-time offender, what actually occurs is you're not even charged with those minimum, maximum fines and punishments that are within the statute, but rather you get to go into a deferred program. And what that means, and it's up to the court's discretion whether it's first-time offender you're eligible for this, but what that does mean is you go into a deferred program in which you take educational classes, some of which are life skills classes, some are rehabilitative, about defensive driving or about alcohol or drugs. Sometimes they'll even require that you go to AA meetings. But you'll have to pay for the cost of those classes, and depending upon the municipality and the type of classes, it'll be between $50 to $150 per class.
Okay. I've heard when it's all said and done, a DUI costs you about anywhere from $5 to $10 grand by the time court costs, attorneys, all that kind of stuff.
It can.
Okay, last question, quickly, Taylor, for you, from Nathan in Birmingham. Will I be arrested for public intoxication if I leave a bar?
That's actually a common question you hear all the time, because people will leave bars and they'll get arrested for public intox. But there's really a strict rule to it. You have to be boisterous or annoying to others or a danger to yourself, basically.
Okay.
So if you just walk out of a bar and you're inebriated, you can't just be arrested for public intox.
So you've got to be doing something like urinating on the street or yelling or trying to cause a fight or doing something that would draw the cops' attention to you.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay. Where can people get more information from you guys?
They can contact us via our website at www.pmhfirm.com, or they can contact us at our main office at area code 205-352-9764.
Okay, Brad and Taylor, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
We've got to take a quick break right now, but stay with our show. We've got so much more, including the Georgia Aquarium. We'll be right back.